Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I'll call to meeting this zoning meeting for the Knox County Commission. This is Monday, December 21st, 2020. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll for the zoning meeting?
Commissioner Lundy,
Here.
Commissioner Darrett,
Here.
Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Ward,
Here.
Commissioner Schoonmaker,
Here.
Commissioner Hill. Okay. Commissioner Bustler,
Here.
Commissioner Beeler,
Here.
Commissioner Daly,
Here.
Commissioner Jay,
Here.
Commissioner Biggs.
Here.
All members are present.
Thank you very much. I want to start this meeting by saying that this has been a publicly noticed meeting as an electronic meeting under the authority granted by Tennessee Governor Bill Lee's Executive Order number 65, which outlines remote meetings and implementing best practices across the state to promote transparent government while protecting the health and safety of citizens and government officials. A copy of that Executive Order 65 can be found online on the Commission agenda page. I will now entertain a motion to accept this determination by Governor Lee and conduct this meeting electronically. Is there a motion? Motion by Commissioner Butler. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Daly. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on that motion?
Starting with Commissioner Bustler.
Yes.
Commissioner Bustler votes aye. Commissioner Beeler.
Aye.
Commissioner Beeler votes aye. Commissioner Daly.
Aye.
Commissioner Daly votes aye. Commissioner Jay.
Aye.
Commissioner Jay votes aye. Commissioner Biggs.
Aye.
Commissioner Biggs votes aye. Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy votes aye. Commissioner Darrett.
Aye.
Commissioner Darrett votes aye. Commissioner Smith.
Yes.
Commissioner Smith votes aye. Commissioner Ward.
Aye.
Commissioner Ward votes aye. Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Aye.
Commissioner Schoonmaker votes aye. And Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill votes aye. All members present voting aye.
Thank you very much. We are proceeding with the meeting. I'm going to do this just a little bit out of order as a request from our team there on the ground and start with looks like 10B 20RZ. This was the deferral from last week. It's item number, sorry, let me find it. I believe it's the last item on your zoning list. This would be
Mr. Chairman, 55.
55 and looks like 55 and 56. I understand that we have the applicant there on site, so we will start by asking the clerk to read item number 55. Then we will go through and talk to planning, and then we will talk to the applicant and ask if there's any. Madam Clerk, would you please read number 55?
Item 55 is 10-B-20-SP, request of E. Luke Green for Northeast County Sector Plan Amendment from LI Light Industrial to AG Agricultural. The property is located at 1308 Sailors Ford Road, parcel ID 4219575 in the 8th Commission District.
And is the applicant present?
Yes.
Okay, and Amy from planning, are you with us?
Yes, Commissioner. Amy Brooks, Knoxville, Knox County Planning.
Could you please give us a recommendation from the staff?
Yes, Planning Commission recommends County Commission approve agricultural designation since it is consistent with the surrounding development and is more aligned with the trend in development in this area than the existing industrial land use by a vote of 15-0.
Is there any opposition present? Seeing none, I will look to is the applicant want to add anything before we move forward?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll look to the commissioner from the 8th district for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just as a matter of housekeeping, did we get the address of the applicant?
You're correct. I'm so sorry. If you would, applicant, please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Josephine Green, and my address is 4807 Douglas Dam Road, Strawberry Plains, Tennessee.
Thank you very much. Sorry, going back between both meetings. I just got to get the order correct.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Beeler.
Yes, I would like to move that we approve this sector plan change consistent with the recommendation of the Planning Commission.
Second by Commissioner Bustler, first by Commissioner Beeler. Is there any further discussion in this matter? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you please call the vote?
Commissioner Beeler,
Aye.
Commissioner Beeler votes aye. Commissioner Daly,
Aye.
Commissioner Daly votes aye. Commissioner J,
Aye.
Commissioner J votes aye. Commissioner Biggs,
Aye.
Commissioner Biggs votes aye. Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy votes aye. Commissioner Darrett,
Aye.
Commissioner Darrett votes aye. Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Smith votes aye. Commissioner Ward,
Aye.
Commissioner Ward votes aye. Commissioner Schoonmaker,
Aye.
Commissioner Schoonmaker votes aye. Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill votes aye. Commissioner Bustler,
Aye.
Commissioner Bustler votes aye. All members present voting aye.
The motion passes on item number 55. Madam Clerk, if you would please read number 56.
56 is 10-B-20-RZ. It's also a request of E. Luke Green. It's for rezoning from I industrial to A agricultural, and the property description is the same from the previous item that I just read.
Thank you very much. And the applicant, if you would please state your name and address for the record again.
Josephine Green, 4807 Douglas Dam Road, Strawberry Plains, Tennessee, 37871.
Thank you very much. Has any opposition appeared? Ms. Brooks, would you please give us the planning recommendation?
Sure. Planning Commission recommends approving agricultural zoning because it's consistent with the surrounding area and would allow uses more compatible with the trend in development by a vote of 15-0.
Thank you very much. I'll look to Commissioner Beeler for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that we approve the zoning request per the recommendation of the Planning Commission.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Bustler. That's a first by Commissioner Beeler to approve. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Commissioner Daly,
Aye.
Commissioner Daly votes aye. Commissioner J,
Aye.
Commissioner J votes aye. Commissioner Biggs,
Aye.
Commissioner Biggs votes aye. Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy votes aye. Commissioner Darrett,
Aye.
Commissioner Darrett votes aye. Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Smith votes aye. Commissioner Ward,
Aye.
Commissioner Ward votes aye. Commissioner Schoonmaker,
Aye.
Commissioner Schoonmaker votes aye. Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill votes aye. Commissioner Bustler,
Aye.
Commissioner Bustler votes aye. And Commissioner Beeler,
Aye.
Commissioner Beeler votes aye. All members present voting aye.
Thank you very much. The motion passes. Good luck with your project. Thank you for being.
Thank you, Ms. Green.
Okay, we're going to go back to the beginning of our agenda. Item number 41 was deferred to January, so we'll move to item number 42. Madam
Item
Clerk,
40 I'm
please
sorry,
call.
item 42 is 10-C-20-SP is a request of Daniel D. and Kimberly Overby for Southwest County Sector Plan Amendment from LDR Low Density Residential to NC Neighborhood Commercial. The property is located at 1615 Shoto Road, parcel ID 162MC019 in the 5th Commission District.
Okay, thank you very much. Is the applicant present?
Yes, Brian Ewers, Dollar and Ewers Architecture, 111 East Jackson Avenue, Knoxville.
Okay, will you be the one to speak?
1168 Andalusian Way, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay, sorry, if you could just repeat that again, sir.
Bradley Pruitt, 1168 Andalusian Way, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Thank you very much. This is item C20SP. Is there opposition to this that has also signed up? I see Steve Robinson, Kevin Murphy, Benjamin Mullins, and Benjamin Mullins and Phyllis Trento. Who is opposition and who is supporting the applicant? Do you know, Mr. Ewers?
I believe Ben Mullins would be speaking on our behalf. He is legal counsel, and Ms. Trenton is also speaking on our behalf as the HOA president for the neighboring Choto Mills subdivision.
Okay, thank you very much. And then also, so I see Mr. Mullins let's get everybody lined up so we know that everyone is here. Ms. Trento, if you would turn your camera on as well. And also Mr. Robinson and Mr. Murphy. Let's make sure everybody's on. Mr. Robinson, I see you. Mr. Murphy, are you with us? I do not see Mr. Murphy. I do not see Ms. Trento. Do you see either of those in the waiting room, Rob?
No, sir. We've let everybody that's on the list in.
Okay. If for some reason you see Phyllis Trento or Kevin Murphy in, please let them in and we will join them in our conversation. So,
Will do.
Ms. Brooks, if you would start us off by first giving us the planning recommendation.
Our Planning Commission recommends County Commission approve the Southwest County Sector Plan Amendment to Neighborhood Commercial for 1615 Choteau Road because of recent changes in the development pattern of the area following the condominium development to the northeast of this site by a vote of 11-4.
Thank you very much. I'll first call on the applicant, and you can, Mr. Mullins, will you be speaking on their behalf to start this conversation?
I will.
Okay. May you please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Yes, Ben Mullins, 550 West Main Street, Suite 500. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. As Ms. Brooks just summarized, the Planning Commission did vote regarding the sector plan by a vote of 11-4 to approve the sector plan amendment to neighborhood commercial to accommodate the rezoning that is also part of this application. You know, there was quite a bit of conversation about the changing nature of this area, specifically with regard to the development to the northeast that occurred about 10 years ago and how successful that neighborhood commercial development has been, and how the extension of that zoning to the south would be a natural extension of the neighborhood commercial zoning and sector plan. You know, this property has quite a bit of history on it. You know, there have been several attempts to rezone this property. It's lot 19 of the Choteau Mill Homeowners Association subdivision, but it was never developed as a residential neighborhood, and there were difficulties in developing as a resident. So it sat there vacant for quite some time. It was ultimately bought in 2016 by the current owner. And there were several conversations about ways to maybe rezone that at that time, and none of those were successful. With regard to this property, you know, Mr. Brad Pruitt and Mr. Mark Amrine came in and sought to extend the neighborhood commercial zoning with the intent of potentially putting a restaurant, a beer garden on that property. However, you know, it's important to note that process will need to be approved through a use on review. We're here talking about the rezoning process and whether it's a natural extension of the neighborhood commercial zoning that is to the north. Planning Commission thought it was. There was opposition at the Planning Commission level. Mr. Pruitt and Amrine and their architect, Mr. Ewers, have done a really good job reaching out to the neighborhood, talking about ways they can make accommodations to deal with some of the negative impacts that might come from extending this zoning. And we have, as I understand, the full support of the Choteau Mill HOA, which is the subdivision that this lot is currently a part of, and that would most directly be impacted by this development. And Mr. Pruitt may be able to give you more details about that, but you know, I don't know. A lot of the opposition that I read in the County Commission's packet was back in September while those conversations were ongoing. And so I hope we've been able to really reach out and to the neighborhood and address some of their concerns so we can move forward with the quality development and follow Planning Commission's recommendations. Brad, do you want to talk about maybe your conversations and your efforts and what accommodations you've been able to reach with the HOA?
Sure. Thank you, Ben. And I think Steve Robinson is on here. He's going to talk a little bit about it. So Steve, don't want to step on your toes here. But yeah, we met with the HOA, which this lot is actually a part of that HOA. For anybody who's actually seen this come up for rezoning before. Knowing that going into that, you know, we met with the HOA very early on back into the summer. We've agreed to numerous concessions, which include deed restrictions, monetary supplement for a gate to be put in for the subdivision, some past due HOAs, physical barrier lines, mature tree lines, to make sure that we are a good neighbor. In addition, we've also agreed to operational restrictions, early closing hours, which is typical for our establishment anyways. But, you know, in good faith, we wanted to meet with them and try to be the best neighbor we could be if, you know, subsequently this has only went through. As of last week, we actually came to a legal understanding and a binding agreement, and thus getting the 18 support residential approval from the HOA.
Thank you. Is there any opposition? Mr. Robinson, I thought that might be a you, but perhaps you're not.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Is
No
there anything
opposition.
you'd like to add very quickly to this?
Mr. Pruitt's gone out of his way to work with our neighborhood. Obviously, we've had a long history in working with this lot. I've been in the neighborhood since the beginning. So 17 years in this neighborhood. I've been involved in numerous attempts of rezoning. And I will say that Mr. Pruitt came to us early, worked with us to develop something that we felt comfortable with. He proved himself to be what we think will be a good neighbor and a good addition to the business community in this area. So the Homeowners Association of the Millet Choteau is in full support of his project. And we would ask you all to vote in favor of this rezoning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Robinson. Did Kevin Murphy jump on, or is there any opposition that I'm seeing or hearing? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, seeing none, I will look to the district commissioner for a motion. That would be Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Can we go ahead and discuss this before a motion is made?
You need to, well, yeah, well, tell me, do we need to do the motion in second and then discuss? Or in zoning, I think we can discuss first. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I just had to think through that. Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to kind of give some quick history, because of the extent of the emails and the phone calls and the text messages that we received from the people of the Choteau community. In 2009, the developers of Choteau Markets, which is the 12 acres that includes the Weigels, the Rural Metro Fire Station, and the Tenova healthcare facility there, they came to the community and said, hey, they wanted to do neighborhood commercial. And this was the first time a zoning classification was actually designed to back up to residential development. And at the time, the Metropolitan Planning Commission said that they would designate these 12 acres as the neighborhood commercial district for that portion of Southwest Knox County. And that was approved in December of 2009. Then this commission in October of 2018, we revised the zoning ordinance for neighborhood commercial to allow self-storage units. So they took about 4.25 acres of the 12 acres and are now putting in self-storage units because they could not fill the commercial area there with commercial businesses. So now, and they still have room in the 12-acre development to do other businesses that would accommodate the neighborhood commercial structure. So I guess the question is, should you fill up that area first before you jump across the street and start adding on to neighborhood commercial? And I think the people out in the Choteau area, they have nothing against the development team that's proposing this idea. I don't think that's ever been a question. But it's been kind of a question that's come up with the HOAs in Choteau Fields, which are actually due north of this property, and the Montgomery Cove HOA, which is northeast of this property. It's unfortunate that when MPC originally did this development for Choteau Mills 20 years ago, that Lot 19 ever existed. It probably should have been originally designed as an open space for the other 18 lots because of its accessibility. So And what I said from the get-go on this, because there was so much conversation regarding for or against this, that I would base my decision on how I was going to vote by the will of the people in that area. So basically, I have just trying to tabulate everything between emails, phone calls, and verifying the folks that actually live in the Choteau community. I'm about a 60 to 65% of the folks who are against, jumping across the street to extend the neighborhood commercial district. So I'm opposed to this particular project. But again, I have nothing against the development team that's doing this. I understand exactly what they want to do. I'm just laying out the background. And by the way, when the original Choteau Markets was put in 2009, I was a neighborhood representative for the Council of West Knox County Homeowners, and I fully supported what John Huber was doing there because I felt that was a viable area for commercial development in those 12 acres so that people who live down Choteau Road could actually go up on Saturday and get a gallon of gas so they could mow the lawn at the Weigel store. So anyways, that's all I have to say at this point.
Thank you. I see some other hands raised. Commissioner Ward and then Commissioner Daly. Commissioner Ward.
Thank you. I'm actually, I live down the road from this area, from the Choteau area, not too far from here at all. I'm just up North Shore a little bit. John, I love you. I've actually had a little bit of the opposite. I've had a lot more people call me saying that they're for this, that they want this. I mean, obviously the HOA, that backs up to this, it said, yes. I went out and talked to the developers. I love the concept. They're not going to sell alcohol. They're going to have basketball courts and pickleball courts there. And it's going to be more of a community area that sells food and, someplace to hang out and watch a Vols game. So, and I think, for me personally, I would love to see it there. I would definitely go and visit as well. And I think it's perfect for the people coming off the water, off the marina, want to stop off and see the game afterwards or go there beforehand and get lunch and then go down the boat docks and stuff like that. And I think it's a perfect expansion to what we already have there. And I would like to see more of the Choteau Circle concept built throughout the rest of the county. I think this is exactly what we need going forward in this county. Small neighborhood commercial with nice, beautiful neighborhoods around it. This way, we're not sending traffic into Farragut and we're not sending people down North Shore. They can stay right there in their own community, have a nice lunch, play some basketball, watch a game, and go walk home or drive a couple of seconds down the street to their house. So I think there's not a lot there to begin with to service these people. I think we have one or two restaurants for what is a extremely fast growing community down there. And I think looking forward, when we talk about smart development and traffic patterns and things like that, keeping people in their neighborhoods, in their small communities. And I think that's the direction we need to go in. So I will be in full support of this.
Thank you, Commissioner Ward. Commissioner Daly, I see your hand up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to speak to planning. Amy Brooks, are you there?
He's in South Knox, so what else he got to do with it?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Amy. Staff recommendation, according to the sector plan and changing the sector plan, there got to be certain rules to change the sector plan. It says deny the Southwest County sector plan amendment to neighborhood commercial because it does not meet the criteria for a planned amendment. Can you kind of go over your reasoning that this does not meet the planned amendment?
Except for the actual commissioners.
Sure, I can review the sector plan amendment requirements and just reaffirm that our planning commission did find that there was rationale to support the amendment. But there is 4 criteria that we review. So we look at changes of conditions warranting the amendment of the land use plan. And staff had found that there were no recent significant changes to the conditions that would warrant a plan amendment. As you know, in the motion made by commission, they did note some of the recent developments that would warrant that amendment. The second one is introduction of significant new roads or utilities that were not anticipated in the plan and make development more feasible. Staff found that there were no new roads or additional utilities that have been introduced into this area in recent years. And the third is an obvious or significant error or omission in the plan. There is no significant error or omission in the plan was found. And then trends in development, population, or traffic that warrant reconsideration of the original plan proposal. Again, staff found that there were no trends in development pattern that would warrant the amendment. However, again, Planning Commission did note some of the new developments that have come online in recent years.
What new development has come on in the last 3 to 4 years? And when was the last sector plan update for that area?
This one was, the sector plan was updated in, this is one of our more recent ones. I think it was 2015, but I'll double check. And then the development that was noted by the Planning Commission was some new condo developments to the east.
But staff did not see that as a obvious error in transit development.
No, Commissioner, that wasn't part of our recommendation.
Yeah. I try to go, I spoke to the mayor and Farragut and the mayor of Knox County. We need to get this growth plan started. But in the meantime, I try to live by the sector plan, and I don't see any reason that we have here to change the sector plan. And that's going to be the way I stand, is that unless Mr. Mullins, are you there, Mr. Mullins?
I am.
Can you tell me a good reason that we can, from all the sector plan requirements, can you give me the reason we can change the sector plan?
Well, I can go back to what the Planning Commission's rationale was. Of course, they, listen to staff more often than not. And, they're also familiar with the developments in this area, and just due to the success of the neighborhood commercial, due to the traffic improvements in that area with the roundabout, due to the development of higher density development in that area that may call for more commercial development to support it, they disagreed with staff respectfully that there were not changes in the development patterns in that area that would just not justify a sector plan amendment. This is something that was very thoughtfully discussed among the Planning Commission and staff, and they voted 11-4 that there was a rationale to change the sector plan amendment. So I would echo what they have said, and due to the growing area and the need for additional neighborhood commercial, which is intended to be complementary to residential areas, they thought that there needed to be an expansion. Sure, there might be some areas in the Choteau markets that have not been completely developed, but we also don't have a piece of property that's been sitting vacant and unused that's slightly over an acre right there adjacent to that neighborhood commercial that would support a use like this, and in the unique nature of a use like this. So, it was during that conversation that Planning Commission believed there was a reason to justify the sector plan amendment, at least in extending it to this parcel to the south.
Ben or Amy or maybe Mr. Snowden, when was the roundabout built?
Commissioner, let me check on that real quick.
Mr. Robinson, I see you have your hand up, and I also see Ms. Trento has joined us. If you have a brief remarks, I might give her an opportunity. I see Commissioner Shoemaker's hand up, but I have a question before that as well. So just kind of going around the horn. Mr. Robinson.
The area continues to grow. As a neighborhood, we have been through this.
Mr. Chairman, I'm waiting on an answer from Mr. Snowden.
Okay, I figured we'd hear from Mr. Robinson while Mr. Snowden was checking.
We've been through this scenario multiple times. For once, I was happy to join you guys tonight, thinking that, we had found the ideal neighbor for us in this lot. I can't help but think that if we go beyond tonight, this scenario is going to kick the can down the road even further. We're going to be forced to address this as a neighborhood once it comes back up again. This cost us legal fees every time. that we have to work on this situation with a new prospective applicant that comes through. We finally found an applicant that we're happy with as a neighbor, that we would be amenable to working with, to living next to, and that we don't feel is a detriment to our community and our value. I think it goes without saying, this area is exploding. The community is growing up to the end of our neighborhood. Ball Homes has built a large development in that area. It continues to expand. There will be a continued need. And quite frankly, I feel like it's a matter of time before, whether it's the makeup of this commission or another commission that approves that lot. I'm not a big gambler. I like the guy I got right here as a neighbor. That's who I'd like to stick with.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Mr. Snowden, I see your hand up.
Yes, Commissioner. We started construction out there in the spring of 2014 and completed in September of 2014 on that roundabout.
So the roundabout was finished before the sector plan update at that time. I feel we need to get that growth plan started back up, and the residents out there, they need to put some, call the town of Farragut and get town of Farragut on board. We need to get this so we can, we won't have these problems, and hopefully we can get that done. But I still see, there's nothing new there that I see that myself warrants a sector plan change, and I go by the sector plan. We got in South Knoxville, I tell the neighborhood associations there, we live and die by our sector plan. So if it's in the sector plan, it's going to pass. If it's not, I'll stand with you and fight. So, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Daly. Before I go back to Commissioner Skinmaker, I just have a couple of questions. I went by and I looked at this lot. I've actually been by it 100 times and never really paid attention until, of course, it came up in zoning. And I'd be hard pressed to figure out another use for this corner lot than anything but commercial. I mean, nobody would build a house right on that corner in an acre lot in a neighborhood that's already been developed. So my understanding is this neighborhood that I believe, Ms. Trento, you are the HOA president. This is a developed neighborhood with an extra lot on the side, and this is not going to be developed into a house of any kind. Is that accurate? You're muted, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, that's accurate.
Okay. If you would just state your name and address for the record, so we make sure we know who everybody is.
Phyllis Trento, 12509 Choteau Mill Lane, Knoxville, Tennessee.
When I look at this, I don't see any other way that you would develop this. I can't imagine anybody building a house right on that corner of the roundabout on an acre lot in a neighborhood. And so we make exceptions to sector plan things all the time. And I think we have to think about what is the highest and best use for a piece of property. That's what zoning does, and that's what we do as a commission. Zach, could you mute Mr. Hunter? I think somebody's hard to hear. But as a commission, our job is to look at what is the highest and best use, and also to what do people have a right to do with their land. I mean, we have property rights. And I think the justification, quite frankly, is it's very difficult to say, oh, because there's more room over here, you shouldn't develop this. It doesn't have any bearing here. Somebody has a piece of land. A neighborhood has said, we have a partner that we'd like to work with. There's no other use for this land other than something commercial, and it makes sense. And to hold them up, I think is, it's absolutely wrong to hold up somebody from the opportunity to develop. So I'm struggling with how would this ever be anything other than commercial. And if you've got a neighbor, it is so rare that we have a neighborhood that comes with a developer arm in arm and says, we have a good plan and we like each other and we think this is going to be good. That is like never happens in the history of commission. Why would we not consider that as a massive mitigating circumstance? Mr. Mullins, am I missing something here?
you're not. I don't think you are. I just wanted to say, I think, you know, sometimes when the sector plan gets amended in an area where there has been quite a bit of controversy over expanding a use, that sometimes are a little maybe short-sighted in not expanding the sector plan to allow commercial zoning into areas like this, which seems to be earmarked for commercial zoning. I know it was controversial when it happened in 2009. I know it's then since been successful. I think maybe it didn't get changed in 2015 because there was some reluctance to potentially expand that because of the past controversy. But this is going to sit vacant, and there's going to be somebody else to come along, and eventually somebody's going to figure out how to develop this. It should be someone that the neighborhood is in support of instead of being opposed to. So I would really ask that you follow the planning department's recommendation to change the sector plan in light of how quickly this area is growing and how there is still a need for not only commercial development, but commercial development of this nature. One of the things that we have agreed to is to put down deed restrictions that specifically exclude some of the things in the neighborhood commercial zone that the neighborhood might find a little more offensive, such as a self-storage. So that would not be part of this. So even if something happens to the beer garden, because we are here on a zoning request, the mantra is you have to consider all the uses before the CN zone, not just this particular use. So even if hypothetically something changes, we have protected the neighborhood in doing this in a way that there would not be a use that they would object to. So this makes sense to do this and do this now.
Commissioner Schoonmaker, I'll come back to you for a second.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like the planning commission to planning staff to just for the record state what the recommendation was from the planning staff to the planning commissioners regarding both the the sector plan and the rezoning.
So planning staff recommended planning commission to deny the Southwest County Sector Plan Amendment to neighborhood commercial for 1615 Choteau Road because it does not meet the criteria for a plan amendment. And planning staff recommended to planning commission to deny the CN zoning because it is not consistent with the Southwest County plan.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Okay, seeing no further discussion, is there a motion on the table? Mr. Smith?
Last time this was before us back in, I believe it was 2018-17, there was a request to turn this into office space. And I supported the community, which overwhelmingly did not want that. I think this is a very rare opportunity we have where the people of Choteau Fields get who they want. And I agree with the chairman. This property is going to eventually be developed. And I also agree with Mr. Mullins that, yes, Choteau Road had just been completed and the sector planning process probably started before it was completed while construction was going on. It was probably an area they didn't want to touch at the time because of the recent development that happened there. So I'll make a motion to approve the sector plan amendment as approved by the Planning Commission.
So first by Commissioner Smith, a second by Commissioner Ward. Is there any additional discussion? I see two hands up, but those are the last two people that spoke. So are you hands still up or you just happen to click those off? Okay. All right. So the motion is before us to approve by Commissioner Smith with a second by Commissioner Ward. Madam Clerk, would you, I'm sorry, are there additional hands up? No, sorry, I thought I did. Just want to make sure. Would you please call the vote, ma'am?
Commissioner J?
Yes.
Commissioner J votes aye. Commissioner Biggs?
Aye.
Commissioner Biggs votes aye. Commissioner Lundy?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy votes aye. Commissioner Darrett?
Aye.
Commissioner Darrett votes aye. Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith votes aye. Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward votes aye. Commissioner Schoonmaker?
No.
Commissioner Schoonmaker votes no. Commissioner Hill?
Yes.
Commissioner Hill votes aye. Commissioner Bustler?
Yes.
Commissioner Bustler votes aye. Commissioner Beeler?
Aye.
Commissioner Beeler votes aye. Commissioner Daly?
No.
Commissioner Daly votes no. 9 aye, 2 no.
Motion passes. Madam Clerk, since 43 is tied to 42, would you please read 43 as well?
Yes, it's also a request of, well, I'm sorry, the number is 10-D-20-RZ, and it's also a request of Daniel D. and Kimberly Overby. It's for rezoning from A agricultural to C in neighborhood commercial, and the property description is the same as the previous item.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion on the floor?
I'll move to approve.
Commissioner Beeler on the first. I will be happy to take the second. Is there additional discussion on item 43? There's a motion by Commissioner Beeler to approve with a second by Commissioner Jay. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Commissioner Biggs?
Aye.
Commissioner Biggs votes aye. Commissioner Lundy?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy votes aye. Commissioner Darrett?
Aye.
Commissioner Darrett votes aye. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith votes aye. Commissioner Ward?
Aye.
Commissioner Ward votes aye. Commissioner Schoonmaker?
No.
Commissioner Schoonmaker votes no. Commissioner Hill?
Yes.
Commissioner Hill votes aye. Commissioner Bustler?
Aye.
Commissioner Bustler votes aye. Commissioner Beeler?
Aye.
Commissioner Beeler votes aye. Commissioner Daly?
No.
Commissioner Daly votes no. Commissioner Jay?
Aye.
Commissioner Jay votes aye. 9 ayes, 2 noes.
Thank you very much. Good luck with your project.
Thank
And-
you.
Thank you very much to all of you.
Can I ask if you'll keep me on? I have items 46 through 51. It'd probably be easier if I just stay muted in the background.
If you will turn your camera off and mute, we will get back to you when the time comes.
Thank you.
Yep. Merry Christmas.
Good luck with your project and Merry Christmas. Item number 44, Madam Clerk, if you would read the roll, and the people I have on here, just to get ready, I have John Valiant, Ryan Hickey, and Deborah Pettit. So if Madam Clerk, would you please read the next item?
It's item 11-A-20-SP. It's a request of Urban Engineering Incorporated for Northwest County Sector Plan Amendment from AG Agricultural, HP Hillside Protection, to LDR Low Density Residential, HP Hillside Protection, located at 1737 North Campbell Station Road and 0 Long Farm Way, parcel ID 117-01203 and 130AA00214 in Commission District 6.
Is the applicant present?
I am Chris Sharp, Urban Engineering, 11852 Kingston Pike.
Okay. Is there any opposition to this?
Yes. Deborah Pettit,
Sorry, your name and address, please.
10451 Laurel Point Lane, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay. Are there any other speakers related to this matter?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Please identify yourself.
Hunter Harrison, 2926 Swafford Road, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay. Who else is on the call with us?
Ryan Dabbs, 1811 North Campbell Station Road.
Okay. Is there anyone else speaking on this matter tonight?
Yes, Jennifer Stenstrom, 1717 Long Farm Way.
Okay. And can I assume that Mr. Sharp, you are the applicant? And can I also assume that Ms. Pettit, Stenstrom, Dabbs, and Harrison are in opposition? Is that accurate?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
That is not.
Who is our opposition? I want to make sure I'm clear.
Jennifer Stenstrom.
And Deborah Pettit.
Ryan Dabbs.
And Ryan Dabbs. And then Hunter Harrison, and you are in favor of?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure we got all the players involved here. If you would, Ms. Brooks, would you please give us the planning recommendation?
Certainly. Commissioner, just one thing I received a message from someone who was also trying to speak on this item who got in an email. It was Taylor Forrester, but he hasn't been able to get let in.
If you would, IT team, look for Taylor Forrester to let in, please. Is he his opposition or in favor?
In favor.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So Planning Commission recommends that County Commission approve rural residential / hillside protection designation because it is compatible with the surrounding development by a vote of 15-0.
Okay, if you would, applicant, if you would speak, there's so many people on here. I'm gonna start with just, if I can have a 3-minute timer from the IT department, please. Just want to give everybody a framework in which to work on. If that's not too hard to throw up there quickly.
I'm sorry. Again, Chris Sharp, the applicant with Urban Engineering, and we respectfully request that this commission approve the sector plan amendment and the rezoning that were approved unanimously at Planning Commission.
Okay, that was short and sweet. Other people who are in favor of this, I'll go ahead and give you some time since you're part of the applicant team. Mr. Harrison, if you'll state your name and address for the record.
Hunter Harrison, 2926 Swafford Road, Knoxville, Tennessee. I also reiterate that we are asking commission to approve MPC's recommendation of the LL and 1.93 or 4 units per acre, which was passed unanimously at commission.
Okay. Is there, Mr. Forrester, are you with us yet? Okay, since you are part of the applicant side, if you want to finish up and.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, there were some difficulties on being let into the meeting. Taylor Forrester, 1111 North Shore Drive, Suite S700, Knoxville, Tennessee. Here on behalf of the applicant, Urban Engineering and Hunter Harrison. This is for, as you're aware, development of the property located at 1737 North Campbell Station Road and Longview Way. This is approximately 62 acres. The incident request is for a sector plan amendment from agricultural to rural residential, as well as a rezoning for low density RA to planned residential at a density of up to 1.93 dwelling units per acre. The initial request by the applicant was a little over 3 acres, but we are in agreement with the planning staff recommendation and the planning commission's approval of planning staff's recommendation at a density of 1.93 dwelling units per acre. In regards to the sector plan amendment, as you're aware, there must be certain requirements that must be met and satisfied for this commission to amend a sector plan. Several of those requirements are met with the instant request. However, only one has to be met. As identified in planning staff report, this area, Hardin Valley, continues to expand and grow, and there is a constant request for or demand for additional housing. There have been new roads scheduled to be improved. There have already been new road improvements. There have also been new schools constructed and new schools scheduled to be constructed. Likewise, utility improvements have been made as well. As far as request and the way development works, as this body's more than aware, is that improvements such as road improvements, utility improvements, school construction, it follows density, it follows the demand. It is never proactive or prospective in going into an area and making these improvements with the expectation of density to follow. There's always some form of a catch-up. We submit that this sector plan amendment is a reasonable amendment going from agricultural to rural residential. There is rural residential existing in the immediate vicinity, as well as there is low LDR existing, which is a higher sector plan amendment existing in the near vicinity. A planned residential rezoning is not necessarily always an increase in zoning. It just requires certain plan amendments, plan review, and submit that a density of up to 1.93 dwelling units per acre is a very, very conservative density. The applicant, my client, says that the development can still be constructed. Obviously, this, as we always discuss on these, this is just a rezoning. This is just a sector plan amendment. This is not an actual subdivision plat or concept plan, development plan approval review. This is
Mr. Forrest, I want to give the opposition time to speak. Ms. Pettit, if you would like to start, and then Ms. Stenstrom and Mr. Dabbs. So if Ms. Deborah Pettit, if you'd like to begin.
Well, I think we have a problem because I was scheduled for the Coward Mill development, and this sounds like it's not the Coward Mill development. that
It
we're
is
talking
not.
about.
So hang with us. My apologies.
So I don't know why I got pushed on here.
It's a pleasure seeing you. How about we go to Ms. Jennifer Stenstrom? Are you in opposition to this? Jennifer, if you could turn your camera and mic on. Okay, Mr. Ryan Dabbs. Mr. Ryan Dabbs, if you turn your microphone and your camera on, please. Are you part of the opposition to this?
Yes.
Okay, I'll let you go first if you just state your name and address for the record, and then we'll go to Jennifer next.
Okay, I'm Dr. Ryan Dabbs. I live at 1811 North Campbell Station Road, and I've lived here for 7 years, and I want to try to explain why I think this proposed development is such a big concern to the community members. And I hope that more than 50 emails that were sent in opposition before the NPC meeting kind of catches your attention a little bit. The Campbell Station Road is kind of known to be a dangerous road because it's such a windy, narrow county road with a steep cliff side for a large portion of the road. And last year's traffic mobility plan recommended multiple improvements, including widening the road, adding shoulders, and a potential north-south connector road just to bypass this road altogether because it's considered such a difficult road and may not even be improvable. But all these improvements are so expensive. As you know, the Knox County and Farragut have both requested regional federal funding for this project. So even if we receive the funding to do so, it's at best a multi-decade project. So we certainly can't count on the road improvements anytime soon to improve the situation. And those of us who drive the road daily are seeing car accidents or near misses on almost a daily basis. And so the traffic letter that the developer submitted used 2012 to 2015 data, but with the traffic count increasing so significantly along Campbell Station Road in the last 5 years, these numbers really aren't valid anymore, and a new traffic study should be done before a large development is allowed. So what really makes this particular development different than other higher density developments in the area is that the specific location of the entrance of this road is at the curve in North Campbell Station Road, nearly a 90-degree curve in the road. And so even with technically adequate site distances, 120 or more households, families, cars entering the road at this location is just a bad, dangerous idea. Certainly the MPC voted on a max 1.93 density, which allows around 120 homes, but really this is still just too many houses and cars entering Campbell Station Road at this location. At least that number does take into account the Hillside Ridgetop Protection Plan, which is important to be followed. So I don't think certainly this recommendation should be increased at all, but it's still a really high number at 120 houses, which is a really large development for this part of North Campbell Station Road.
Thank you. I want to give Jennifer a chance to speak as well. So
okay, thank you,
Jennifer.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, if you could state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to address.
Jennifer Stenstrom, 1717 Long Farm Way, here in Knox County. I'm a new resident here, and I spent the past about 2 months researching all of the county approved reports and talking to residents. And according to all the stuff I've researched, we are in the rural area of Knox County. And the whole point of the growth policy plan was to prevent urban sprawl. And I don't feel like the intent of the growth policy plan is being followed here to make it even 1.93 units per acre is still too many. For me, that's not rural. And I don't think that's why people have purchased their property here. The character of Hardin Valley and the rural way of Hardin Valley is why people want to live here. And 64 acres at 1.93, 120 homes, that's not rural. It's not even close to rural. We're not even in the planned growth area. So I would really like the commissioners to seriously think about the dangerous precedent that's being set, making a subdivision on 64 acres of 120 homes, and think about what that's going to do to the traffic and the hillside and the trees. It's going to completely change the character of the entire ridge right there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I believe that was both the opposition. I'll open it up to discussion and defer to the commission district commissioner first before opening questions, if you'd like to weigh in on this.
Thank you, Commissioner Jay. I don't disagree with anything anyone said on both sides of the aisle here. This is just a part of the growth and development that we are experiencing in District 6. It does pain me, but I really probably do need to go along with the 15-0 recommendation of NPC because of the yet to be voted on next segment that's coming up with this, in that given everything that folks have said, there has still in fact been much consideration put into what both Dr. Dabbs and Jennifer both have said. And I've spoken, met with Dr. Dabbs, met with Hunter. It's just been a difficult process all the way around, but in the end, I will move to approve the recommendation for the change to rural residential, HP, hillside protection.
There's a motion by Commissioner Hill. I do have some additional hands up, but is there a second? We can continue discussion.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Ward. Commissioner Schoonmaker, you have your hand up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This question is for Mr. Sharp. This project is made up of two separate parcels. Excuse me. One of them is owned by Sarah and Robert Wright, and it makes up about 35% of the total development. Is that correct?
I believe it's roughly that.
Okay. And we affectionately know that location as Catatoga Kennels. When will they be ceasing operations?
That I can answer. Mr. Harrison may be able to answer that question, sir.
They will be ceasing operations on 12/30/2020.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schoonmaker. Is there additional discussion? Is there anything either the applicant or opposition would like to say in a sort of closing statement? Commissioner Durrett, I see your name up, or your hand up, excuse me.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. I'm a little confused. I'm looking at our agenda, and it says we are wanting to change the sector plan to low density residential. So is it rural residential or low density residential?
Ms. Brooks?
It is rural residential. The applicant had requested low density residential, but staff and the planning commission recommended rural residential.
I see that.
And the applicant is good with rural residential.
Okay. Thank you.
Which would be the lesser, which Ms. Brooks can confirm would be a lesser change to the sector plan.
Thank you for that clarification.
Is there any additional discussion?
I had another question.
Yes, sir.
Is there a traffic study then that is required as part of that, or does that is that not a part of this commission?
Mr. Snowden, perhaps you could chime in on that?
Yes, due to the number of lots being proposed, when Mr. Harrison presents his concept plan, there will be a traffic study completed that the Planning Commission will consider.
Okay.
Seeing no other hands or comments, there is a motion on the floor by Commissioner Hill to approve item number 44 with a second by Commissioner Ward. Madam Clerk, would you please call the vote?
And I'm sorry, but I have a question before I call the roll. So
Yes,
is
ma'am.
the motion to approve for LDR,
No,
HP, or rural residential HP?
It is, the motion was to approve per the recommendation for our rural residential HP.
Planning Commission's recommendation. Okay, I'm starting in with Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy votes aye. Commissioner Darrett?
Aye.
Commissioner Darrett votes aye. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith votes aye. Commissioner Ward?
Aye.
Commissioner Ward votes aye. Commissioner Schoonmaker?
Aye.
Commissioner Schoonmaker votes aye. Commissioner Hill?
Yes.
Commissioner Hill votes aye. Commissioner Bustler?
Aye.
Commissioner Bustler votes aye. Commissioner Beeler?
Aye.
Commissioner Beeler votes aye. Commissioner Daly?
Aye.
Commissioner Daly votes aye. Commissioner J?
Aye.
Commissioner J votes aye. And Commissioner Biggs?
Aye.
Commissioner Biggs votes aye. All members voting aye.
Thank you very much. The motion passes. Since 45 is tied to 44, if you would go ahead and please read that one.
And it's also a request of Urban Engineering Incorporated for I was reading the wrong one. It's 11-C-20-RZ, request of Urban Engineering Incorporated for rezoning from A agricultural and RA low density residential to PR planned residential up to 3.15 dwelling units per acre. And the property description is the same as the previous item.
Would the applicant please state their name and address, please?
Taylor Forrester, 1111 North Shore Drive, Suite S700, Knoxville, Tennessee, 3719919. In the interest of time, I feel like I did cover this in the previous agenda item for the rezoning request. The difference here, obviously the request was for a little over 3 dwelling units per acre, and we are requesting that this commission approve the planning staff recommendation and the planning commission's voted recommendation to rezone the property from low density RA residential to planned residential at a density of up to 1.93 dwelling units per acre. Again, would incorporate the comments specifically related to the rezoning and the rezoning requirements that must be met that was previously set forth on the agenda item.
Thank you very much, Ms. Brooks. If you would please give the planning recommendation.
Planning Commission recommends the County Commission approve PR planned residential zoning up to 1.93 dwelling units per acre because it is consistent with the slope analysis and compatible with the surrounding zoning by a vote of 15-0.
Thank you very much. I will give the opposition if you'd like to add anything else to this comment period. I don't know, Ms. Jennifer. That pesky mute button. There you
Got
go.
it. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Because I have this one chance to mention it, I feel like I must for all of the residents in the area. There is another lot that is attached to this parcel that is 19 acres. If that parcel is sold, will that change the commissioner's feeling on 1.93 units? Because that would be an additional 38 homes, which would bring a total of 160 homes to that 3 parcel area off Campbell Station Road. And they cannot get anywhere else but to Campbell Station Road when they enter and exit. And then also it would set a dangerous precedent because there would be subdivisions all the way from North Campbell Station Road all the way to Marietta Church Road. And I don't know if that's exactly what the county commissioners are looking for a rural area of Hardin Valley. And I just wanted to bring that up because it's the only opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Stenstrom. Mr. Sanders, correct me if I'm wrong, but we sort of take, although we think about the big picture and many contexts is when it comes to voting on particular land uses, we take them individually without, as they're presented. Is that accurate?
Right. You're correct, Mr. Chairman. I don't know that it'd be appropriate to speculate about what this body might do in the future with another application.
Okay. Is there any commissioner discussion that everybody would like to have? Commissioner Smith?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to point out that in our growth plan, the rural area does allow development up to 2 units an acre. And it looks like there's been a compromise between the slope protection going by the growth plan and the rural area designation. It looks like this zoning meets all the requirements.
If I could add to that.
Commissioner Hill?
Yes, when this came up, what you said, Commissioner Smith, is exactly right. It in fact did not necessarily meet all the requirements. However, the 3.15 on the surface did not appear to be outrageous. However, the more that it was looked into, and this is where really the community advocacy kicked in, with Dr. Dabbs and his neighbors stepping forward and saying, we've got to have some change here. If this is going to happen, it needs to be revisited. And there were numerous meetings occurred and phone calls between all the parties concerned. And a new plan was in fact proposed by Mr. Harrison, dropping it to the 1.93 per acre. So I do feel like there was efforts made, at least on both parties, even though I know neither side is thrilled to death. It does represent an effort at some compromise, which is always appreciated.
Do you have a motion to move this forward?
Yes, I'd like to approve it at 1.93 per acre as presented.
Second, Biggs.
Second from Commissioner Biggs, first from Commissioner Hill to approve per recommendation. Seeing no additional hands, Madam Clerk, would you please call the vote?
Commissioner Darrett.
Aye.
Commissioner Darrett votes aye. Commissioner Smith.
Aye.
Commissioner Smith votes aye. Commissioner Ward.
Aye.
Commissioner Ward votes aye. Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Aye.
Commissioner Schoonmaker votes aye. Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill votes aye. Commissioner Bustler.
Aye.
Commissioner Bustler votes aye. Commissioner Beeler.
Aye.
Commissioner Beeler votes aye. Commissioner Daly.
Aye.
Commissioner Daly votes aye. Commissioner J.
Aye.
Commissioner J votes aye. Commissioner Biggs.
Aye.
Commissioner Biggs votes aye. Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy votes aye. All members present voting aye.
The motion passes. Thank you all for participating in this part of the zoning meeting, and good luck with your project and your neighborhood.
Thank y'all for your time. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much.
Madam Clerk, I believe we're on number 46. And
Yes, that's item 11-B-20-SP. It's the request of Benjamin C. Mullins, OBO, USCC Services LLC, for Northwest County Sector Plan Amendment from OS Open Space to O Office. Properties located at 875 Cornerstone Drive, parcel ID 131069 in Commission District 6.
is the applicant present?
I am Ben Mullins, 550 West Main Street.
Is there any opposition today? I don't have any listed on my sheet, but that doesn't always mean there isn't. Is anyone aware of any opposition? Ms. Brooks, if you would please give us the recommendation from planning.
Planning Commission recommends County Commission approve office designation because it is consistent with the surrounding development by a vote of 15-0.
Thank you very much. Is there anything to add to this?
I would just say this is, an infill development. We're looking at an area that has a diversity of different uses and sector plans, and the applicant, US Cellular, was hoping to, the soccer fields are on the north part of the property. There's no intent to do anything with that, but the southern portion of the property, they were hoping to market and potentially sell that, and believed that the change of the sector plan and the zoning to OB zoning would make that more attractive to potential uses, and that's consistent with the sector plans and uses to the north. So we went through the TTCDA and got approval, certificate of appropriateness. Planning Commission approved 15-0. We would ask that you follow their recommendations.
Is there any further discussion on this, opposition, or any other items to be addressed? Seeing none, I'll look to the District 6 Commissioner for a motion.
I'd like to move we approve this as recommended.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Biggs on the second, Commissioner Hill on the first. Seeing no further discussion, Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith votes aye. Commissioner Ward?
Aye.
Commissioner Ward votes aye. Commissioner Schoonmaker?
Aye.
Commissioner Schoonmaker votes aye. Commissioner Hill?
Aye.
Commissioner Hill votes aye. Commissioner Bustler?
Aye.
Commissioner Bustler votes aye. Commissioner Beeler?
Aye.
Commissioner Beeler votes aye. Commissioner Daly?
Aye.
Commissioner Daly votes aye. Commissioner J?
Aye.
Commissioner J votes aye. Commissioner Biggs?
Aye.
Commissioner Biggs votes aye. Commissioner Lundy?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy votes aye. And Commissioner Darrett?
Aye.
Commissioner Darrett votes aye. All members present voting aye.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The motion passes. Next item, please.
The next item is 11-E-20-RZ. Request of Benjamin C. Mullins, OBO USCC Services LLC, for rezoning from CB Business and Manufacturing and TO Technology Overlay to OB Office, Medical, and Related Services and TO Technology Overlay, located at 875 Cornerstone Drive, parcel ID 131069, Commission District 6.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. If the applicant present, please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, Ben Mullins, 550 West Main Street, Suite 500.
Is there any opposition to this? Ms. Brooks, would you please give us the recommendation from planning?
Certainly. Planning Commission recommends County Commission approve OB, Office, Medical, and Related Services and Technology Overlay zoning because it's consistent with the surrounding development by a vote of 15-0.
Thank you very much. Any discussion? I'll look to District 6 Commissioner for a motion.
Motion to approve this as presented.
Your second?
Second.
By Commissioner Daly. Sorry, we'll get you on the next one, Commissioner Lundy. You got to chime in fast or just put your hand up. First by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Daly to approve as recommended. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Commissioner Ward?
Aye.
Commissioner Ward votes aye. Commissioner Schoonmaker?
Aye.
Commissioner Schoonmaker votes aye. Commissioner Hill?
Yes.
Commissioner Hill votes aye. Commissioner Bustler?
Aye.
Commissioner Bustler votes aye. Commissioner Daly?
Aye.
Commissioner Daly votes aye. Commissioner J?
Aye.
Commissioner J votes aye. Commissioner Biggs?
Aye.
Commissioner Biggs votes aye. Commissioner Lundy?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy votes aye. Commissioner Darrett?
Aye.
Commissioner Darrett votes aye. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith votes aye. All members present voting aye.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Mullins, good luck with that project, and you're up again. So, Madam Clerk, would you please read item number 48?
It's item 11-F-20-SP, request of Benjamin C. Mullins, OBO, Elevation Foods Properties, LLC, for Northeast County Sector Plan Amendment from LDR Low Density Residential and GC General Commercial to O Office. The properties located at 1702 and 1600 Harris Road and 5811 Rutledge Pike, parcel ID 60080, 07905 and 07906 in the 8th Commission District.
Commission, is the applicant present?
Ben Mullins, 550 West Main Street, Suite 500. I think there's a Mr. Harold Ginsberg who is from Dallas, Texas, who was saying he was trying to log on. He signed up as well. I don't think he's going to speak, but he may be able to answer some questions if there are questions. I don't know if he's been able to be added to the panel.
IT, if you could check on that. Is there opposition present on this one? I see names under this one for Walt. Oh, wait, no, that's a different one. Sorry. I'm gonna keep all these. Oh, no, this one's for sure. F20. No, I don't see any names under this one. Is there any opposition to this? Any you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of.
Rob, anybody waiting?
No one in the lobby.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, Ms. Brooks, would you give us a recommendation?
Planning Commission recommends County Commission approve the sector plan amendment to O office land use designation, since it would create a transition between the commercial use to the south and the residential use to the north by a vote of 14-0.
Is there any additional discussion on this?
No, I mean, this is one we looked at. There's existing commercial, and this is an expansion of an existing business that my client recently acquired in order to make the business more viable and to stay in this location. They do need to improve their access and to expand, and they acquired an old church, Jehovah's Witness temple to the north that would allow them additional access to the property. But to make that work, we need to expand the zoning. General commercial probably wasn't appropriate. So we looked at changing the sector plan to office, which is a good transition, and then going to planned commercial, which we put down some restrictions and allows a lot more review by the Planning Commission to allow us to expand and still mitigate from any potential impacts to the neighborhood. So makes a lot of sense.
I'll look to the District 8 Commissioner, Mr. Beeler, for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think this is a good and appropriate change in use of this property, so I will move to approve this sector plan amendment as per the recommendation of the Planning Commission.
Is there a second, Commissioner Lundy? Oh, yes, you got her hand up. Okay. Second by Commissioner Lundy, first by Commissioner Beeler. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Aye.
Commissioner Schoonmaker votes aye. Commissioner Hill.
Yes.
Commissioner Hill votes aye. Commissioner Bustler.
Aye.
Commissioner Bustler votes aye. Commissioner Beeler.
Aye.
Commissioner Beeler votes aye. Commissioner Daly.
Aye.
Commissioner Daly votes aye. Commissioner J.
Aye.
Commissioner J votes aye. Commissioner Biggs.
Aye.
Commissioner Biggs votes aye. Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy votes aye. Commissioner Darrett.
Aye.
Commissioner Darrett votes aye. Commissioner Smith.
Aye.
Commissioner Smith votes aye. Commissioner Ward.
Aye.
Commissioner Ward votes aye. All members present voting aye.
Thank you very much. The motion passes. Item number 49.
It's
Madam
11-0-20-RZ, request of Benjamin C. Mullins, OBO, Elevation Foods Properties LLC, for rezoning from RB General Residential and CB Business and Manufacturing to PC Plan Commercial. The property description is the same as the previous item that I just read.
Thank you very much. Applicant, please state your name and address for the record.
Ben Mullins, 550 West Main Street.
Is there any opposition to this? Any opposition? I see on here Walt Hillis, Kevin Murphy, Ashley Helton, Jeff Farrell. Do any of those names ring a bell?
I think that's for the upcoming matter.
Okay. Oh, you're right. Sorry, my list is all combined. Sorry about that. Okay. Item number 49-11-020-RZ. Is there any opposition? If not, Ms. Brooks, would you please give the recommendation?
Certainly. Planning Commission recommends County Commission approve PC Plan Commercial Zoning because it allows the Planning Commission to review and conditions improvements to the site that will mitigate potential adverse impacts of the existing business on the adjacent residential properties by a vote of 14-0.
Is there any further discussion on this? I'll look to Commissioner Beeler in the District 8 seat.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion to approve this zoning change as approved by the Planning Commission.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Maker on the second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Call the vote.
Commissioner Hill.
Yes.
Commissioner Hill votes aye. Commissioner Bustler,
Aye.
Commissioner Bustler votes aye. Commissioner Beeler,
Aye.
Commissioner Beeler votes aye. Commissioner Daly,
Aye.
Commissioner Daly votes aye. Commissioner J,
Aye.
Commissioner J votes aye. Commissioner Biggs,
Aye.
Commissioner Biggs votes aye. Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy votes aye. Commissioner Darrett,
Aye.
Commissioner Darrett votes aye. Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Smith votes aye. Commissioner Ward,
Aye.
Commissioner Ward votes aye. Commissioner Schoonmaker,
Aye.
Commissioner Schoonmaker votes aye. All members present voting aye.
The motion passes. Good luck. Are we done with you, Mr. Mullins?
Now I have the next two.
Oh, you're right. There you are. Okay, stick around. The motion passes on 49. Madam Clerk, please read number 50.
Item 50 is 11-C-20-SP, request of BWI ETN LLC, doing business as Blue Water Industries BWI for East County Sector Plan Amendment from HIM Mining, LI Light Industrial, and GC General Commercial, and HP Hillside Protection to LI Light Industrial and HP Hillside Protection. Properties located at 03112, 3114, 3121, 3204, 3205, 3207, 3219, 3220, and 3221 Vaughn Lane, and 2925 and O Asbury Road, parcel ID 111002, 111003, 111004, 111005, 111006, 111010, 111011, 11101101, 111012, 111014, 097 037, 097 039, 097 043 in the Commission District 8. And I'll repeat those again if you would like me to.
You just created like the best math equation of our computer programming code of all time with the 1110. So is the applicant present?
Yes,
We are. Yep, go ahead, Walt.
Walt Hillis, environmental manager for Blue Waters Industry. I live at 2320 Brighton Farms Boulevard, Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm going to default to Mr. Mullins for the general comments. I'm here available for any specific questions that anyone may have.
Thank you, Mr. Hillis. Is there any opposition present on this one? I see on this maybe Mr. Kevin Murphy, Ashley Helton, or Jeff Farrell.
Mr. Farrell is our general manager for Blue Water Industries, and he is out of state to the end of the holiday, so he will not be here tonight.
Okay. Do you want to add anything to this, Mr. Mullins?
Yeah, we'd just like to follow staff's recommendation. This is really kind of just filling in some property that was acquired by Blue Water but had never been rezoned. They've owned it for quite some time. You know, they're looking at potentially expanding or increasing their buffer zones. They'll need to come back through Planning Commission with a very robust plan of operations before they can do anything with this property, but it just makes sense at this point to go ahead and zone it consistently with the surrounding properties that allow for the industrial and the quarrying.
Okay, seeing no further discussion. Commissioner Christmas up there.
And thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Well, given that no opposition has arisen to this, I will offer a motion that we approve this amendment per the recommendation of the Planning Commission.
Is there a second?
Second.
Garrett. Is there any further discussion on item number 50? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Commissioner Bustler,
Aye.
Commissioner Bustler votes aye. Commissioner Beeler,
Aye.
Commissioner Beeler votes aye. Commissioner Daly,
Aye.
Commissioner Daly votes aye. Commissioner J,
Aye.
Commissioner J votes aye. Commissioner Biggs,
Aye.
Commissioner Biggs votes aye. Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy votes aye. Commissioner Darrett,
Aye.
Commissioner Darrett votes aye. Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Smith votes aye. Commissioner Ward,
Aye.
Commissioner Ward votes aye. Commissioner Schoonmaker,
Aye.
Commissioner Schoonmaker votes aye, and Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill votes aye. All members present voting aye.
Thank you very much. Item number 51, Madam Clerk.
It's also a request of BWI ETN LLC, doing business as Blue Water Industries BWI, for rezoning from A agricultural and CA general business to I industrial at the same property description as the previous item.
Thank you very much. You didn't want to read the ones and those again, huh?
Now, I think you all know.
But the applicant please state his name and address for the record.
Walt Hillis, Environmental Manager for Blue Water Industries. Address is 2320 Brighton Farms Boulevard, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Is there any opposition that is here tonight? Ms. Brooks, would you please give the recommendation?
The Planning Commission recommends that County Commission approve I industrial zoning because it is consistent with the surrounding development by a vote of 15-0.
Thank you very much. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, Commissioner Beeler, I turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Daly, did you have a question?
I have a comment. I want to thank Blue Waters for donating the land for the new park. Good opportunity to do that.
Yeah, it's a great thing. Proud to do it.
Yes, thank you as well. I will move that we approve this zoning change per recommendation of the Planning Commission.
Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Daly. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Commissioner Baylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Baylor votes aye. Commissioner Daly,
Aye.
Commissioner Daly votes aye. Commissioner J,
Aye.
Commissioner J votes aye. Commissioner Biggs,
Aye.
Commissioner Biggs votes aye. Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy votes aye. Commissioner Darrett,
Aye.
Commissioner Darrett votes aye. Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Smith votes aye. Commissioner Ward,
Aye.
Commissioner Ward votes aye. Commissioner Schoonmaker,
Aye.
Commissioner Schoonmaker votes aye. Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill votes aye, and Commissioner Bustler.
Aye.
Commissioner Bustler votes aye, and all members present are voting aye.
Thank you very much. Good luck with your project. Are we now done with you, Mr. Moore?
Thank you.
You are. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Take care.
Merry Christmas, Ben.
Good luck with your project, Mr. Hillis.
See you.
All right, moving on. My goal, by the way, just to commissioners, is to get through zonings, have another break, and then go back to the next meeting so that our next break will be done after the next 3 items. So stick with us. Madam Clerk, item number 52.
It's 11-D-20-SP, request of Waterloo Construction LLC for Northwest County Sector Plan Amendment from TP Technology Park and HP Hillside Protection to LDR, Low Density Residential in the HP Hillside Protection at 10607 Coward Mill Road, parcel ID 103091 in Commission District 6.
All right, is the applicant present?
Yes, this is John Valiant for the applicant.
Okay, if you could turn your camera on too, that'd be helpful. And I also see Mr. Hickey is here with us as well.
Yes.
And then Ms. Pettit, thank you for your patience. You are here in opposition. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
Okay, we will start. Is there anyone else here to speak on this matter, item number 52? Okay, we will start with the applicant. If you would give your name and address for the record, and we will go from there.
My name's John Valiant. I'm the attorney for Ball Homes, which is who's really involved in this project. My address is 800 South Gay Street, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Thank you, Mr. Valiant. Mr. Hickey, go ahead and give us your name and address if you're going to discuss.
Yes, Ryan Hickey, 1914 Pinnacle Point Way, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Ooh, okay, not sure about the echo, but we got it.
We're in the same room, and I'd say that we've got some interference going on.
All right, why don't you guys mute? If you would, Ms. Brooks, if you would please give us a recommendation first.
Planning Commission recommends that County Commission approve LDR Low Density Residential and HP Hillside Protection designation because it is consistent with the adjacent development by a vote of 12-2.
Okay, we'll go to the applicant first, then we'll go to the opposition. So if you would, please tell us about your project.
This is a 5.4 acre tract that would be probably be in the parental responsibility zone because it's right next to a tract of property that where they're planning to build an elementary school. MPC approved both the zoning and the sector plan change. TTCDA also approved it. This is in an area that is transitioning from agricultural and into a residential, family residential area. The infrastructure is either already in or planned to be put in. And it doesn't seem to me that the zoning part of this is what the issue is. It's the density. And I'll have to say that Commissioner Hill has done a very good job at arguing her position for the lower density. And Ball Homes, and we believe her to be a very reasonable person, a reasonable commissioner. She wants to lower the number of units per acre. We asked for 5. 5 was approved. I think she wants something substantially less than that, and we're going to agree with what Commissioner Hill wants to propose.
Which is?
I think she wants 3.8 units per acre.
Okay, I just also, Ms. Pettit, I want to explain to you, this is in 2 parts. So we have a first part that is approving the action is to approve the residential and the hillside protection and the overall sector plan amendment. And then there is another piece after this that is about the density. So this is in 2 parts. The first part we're voting on right now is just the sector plan change. And then the next part will be about how many is the density. So, so I just wanted to explain that. So I'll give you an opportunity, if you would please give your name and address for the record.
My name is Deborah Pettit. I live at 10451 Laurel Point Lane, Knoxville, Tennessee. And I specifically want to speak about the density. So would you like me to wait until the next one?
Yes, ma'am, that would be good.
All right.
Is there additional discussion on this? Ms. Brooks, did I already ask you for the recommendation?
Yes, Mr. Chair, you did.
Sorry, it's I just want to make sure I didn't miss that. Ms. Hill, I will pass the baton to you for a recommendation.
Thank you. I make a motion to approve as stated.
Is there a second?
Second, Ward.
Second by Commissioner Ward, first by Commissioner Hill. Any additional discussion on the sector plan amendment? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Commissioner Daly?
Aye.
Commissioner Daly votes aye. Commissioner J?
Aye.
Commissioner J votes aye. Commissioner Biggs?
Aye.
Commissioner Biggs votes aye. Commissioner Lundy?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy votes aye. Commissioner Darrett?
Aye.
Commissioner Darrett votes aye. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith votes aye. Commissioner Ward?
Aye.
Commissioner Ward votes aye. Commissioner Schoonmaker?
Aye.
Commissioner Schoonmaker votes aye. Commissioner Hill?
Yes.
Commissioner Hill votes aye. Commissioner Bustler?
Aye.
Commissioner Bustler votes aye. Commissioner Baylor?
Aye.
Commissioner Baylor votes aye. All members present voting aye.
Item number 52 is passed. Madam Clerk, would you please read item number 53?
It's 11-I-20-RZ, request of Waterloo Construction LLC for rezoning from BP Business and Technology and TO Technology Overlay to PR Plan Residential and TO Technology Overlay up to 5 dwelling units per acre with the same property description as the previous item.
And the applicant, if you would, please state your name and address for the record.
John Valiant, attorney, 800 South Gay Street, Knoxville, Tennessee, representing Ball Homes.
Okay.
Same as Waterloo Construction.
Okay, thank you very much. Ms. Brooks, if you would please give the recommendation.
Planning Commission recommends that County Commission approve PR Plan Residential Zoning up to 5 dwelling units per acre and TO Technology Overlay because it's compatible with the adjacent zoning and adjacent to the proposed new elementary school by a vote of 9 to 5.
Thank you very much. Mr. Valiant or Mr. Hickey, do you want to add anything before we give Ms. Pettit an opportunity?
I'll have to say this is the first time that I've not argued for more units, but we have to agree with whatever Commissioner Hill moves for, we are in agreement with.
Okay, Ms. Pettit, this is your opportunity. If you would, you've already stated your name and address, so go ahead and state it again, and then the floor is yours. Thank you for your patience.
All right, Deborah Pettit, 10451 Laurel Point Lane, Knoxville, Tennessee. And good evening. And I'm the president of the Magnolia Point Homeowners Association, and I represent about 250 homeowners in the Coward Mill and the Reagan Road area. Yes, we are concerned about the 5 dwellings per acre that this developer is requesting. We realize that it is a small acreage, but when you do this, it is opening the door to breaking the former 3.5 precedent. Within the last couple of years, we worked with the development to the west of this property to get the 3.5. All of the surrounding subdivisions on Reagan Road and on Coward Mill are 3.5 or less. And we would like you to continue with that precedent to maintain and not overpopulate the area, making another urban sprawl area. If you allow 5 dwelling units, this just clears the way for other developers to ask for 5 or more. Cramming as many houses as possible into an acre of land diminishes the overall character of the land and makes a neighborhood where people are living on top of one another. So we are asking you to limit this developer to 3.5 and to be consistent with the adjacent developments, even though the planning, your staff said it was with 5 per acre, it was consistent, but it's not because it's 3.5. The problem is if you set a precedent at 3.5 or at 5, excuse me, then the next people who come in, and there is a lot of land on Coward Mill that will be developed by future developers probably. And we want to ensure that this 3.5 or less dwelling units per acre be observed. You know, there have been many changes to our area in the last few years, like many parts of the county. But if we let 3.5 go, if we let 5 go, or even get 3.5, and we have that precedent, the next time it's going to be 3.8, then the next precedent is going to be 4.0, and then it's going to keep going up, and we're going to keep fighting for this every time. So if we can set the precedent for this area with a lot of land around us at 3.5, that would be great. The thing is that when builders and developments come in, they build houses, then they make their money, they leave, and we are left with the aftermath of this. So I talked to a lot of the people in our area, and they want to stick with that 3.5. Our request is just helping us to secure and maintain the surrounding areas and the beauty of the surrounding areas. And I would like you to please listen to our voice of the present homeowners. And many of these homeowners have been here for way over 40 years. And we've had a very nice area. And now we have a school that's going in that's going to be 900 kids. We have another development. The development to the west is 115. We have another one going down by the Veterans Home. So it would be nice just to limit this to 3.5. I appreciate you listening to me.
Thank you, Ms. Pettit. Commissioner Hill, this is your district. Would you like to chime in on this?
It is, and I do agree with everything Ms. Pettit said. And in fact, the last 4 developments that have been approved along Coward Mill have been at 3.5. So I was a little bit surprised when Planning Commission approved the 5 per acre. That said, I talked with Ms. Pettit, also talked with Ryan several times. I do feel like 3.8 is a reasonable, very reasonable compromise, especially given the fact that this is such a small tract of land. I mean, I think I looked at it in the end, it's maybe 1 more house, maybe 2, but I think it'll come out to 1 more house. With very different, thank you, maybe 2, but which is very different when we're looking at a lot of our tracts that are 20, 25 acres. So in this particular regard, I appreciate both sides being willing to, whether they like it or not, to be willing to have some compromise here. And I do bring the motion forward at 3.8 per acre.
There's a
Second.
motion by Commissioner Hill for 3.8 units an acre approval. Is there a second?
Second.
We can still have more discussion, Ms. Pettit.
Okay.
Is on a second, and I see John Schoonmaker has got his hand up. Mr. Schoonmaker?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Pettit, you referenced the tract of land that is west of this development. Was that the property that Scott Davis developed at 3.5 dwelling units per acre?
That
And
is
you all
correct.
negotiated with him for that amount, is that correct?
That is correct. He was at first talking about a lot of apartments, and then he changed over to houses. And then he wanted to, it was very, very dense with the houses. And so I remember that meeting specifically because we wanted 3 per acre, because we thought that would be more with the houses that are in this area, the quality of houses in this area. But I remember you walked back to me and said, 3.5 is going to be the best that you can get. And so we decided to agree with you and go with the 3.5. And that's what I'm sorry.
And
That's
when
what
you
we're
say,
afraid of. We're afraid that if we go 3.8 today, then in 2 years or whenever somebody develops more of the property on Coward Mill, it's going to be, well, they've already got 3.8 down there on that little one. Let's do 4.0, 4.2. That's what we're afraid of.
and when you're referencing that to the person you're talking about, that was Scott Davis that said the 3.5.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there any additional comments right now? Ms. Durrett?
Thank you, Commissioner. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is the Cherahela extension coming through this property?
Yes, it is.
Okay. How does that affect the development of this land? Do we know, like, how does that affect the overall number of units being put on this property because of the road also going through this property?
Mr. Hickey or Mr. Dying, would you like to address that?
We've had several conversations with Jim Snowden, and I think if you want to talk to Mr. Snowden, we will work with him in any way we need to if it comes through this property.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Snowden, would you like to address that? Forgive me, Commissioner Jay.
Go ahead.
No, Commissioner Hill, I'll be glad to. Yes, I have met with Mr. Hickey about this property. I actually had a conversation with Russ Oakes at the school system about it. The school system would like to try to gain access to the roadway extension. So it's possible that we could move the alignment of the phase 2 of Coward Mill, or pardon me, Cherahela slightly to the east to achieve both those things, to provide a little more developable property for Ryan, as well as allow for better access to the school. So that is something that we'll work with the developer on, and hopefully be able to, help him as well as the school's concerns as regard to access to the new roadway.
Proud Papa.
Sorry for the delay. I was getting a little special delivery there. Any additional discussion on this? All right, there is a motion on the table from Commissioner Hill at 3.8 units per acre with a second by Commissioner Bustler. Seeing no additional comments, Madam Clerk, would you please call the vote?
Commissioner Jay?
Aye.
Commissioner Day votes aye. Commissioner Biggs?
Aye.
Commissioner Biggs votes aye. Commissioner Lundy?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy votes aye. Commissioner Darrett?
Aye.
Commissioner Darrett votes aye. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith votes aye. Commissioner Ward?
Aye.
Commissioner Ward votes aye. Commissioner Schoonmaker?
Aye.
Commissioner Schoonmaker votes aye. Commissioner Hill?
Aye.
Commissioner Hill votes aye. Commissioner Bustler?
Aye.
Commissioner Bustler votes aye. Commissioner Beeler?
Aye.
Commissioner Beeler votes aye. Commissioner Daly?
Aye.
Commissioner Daly votes aye. All members present voting aye.
Thank you very much. The motion passes, and good luck with the project.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Ms. Pettit. Madam Clerk, our last item in zoning looks like item number 54.
Yes, 11-N-20-RZ is a request of Bill Johnson for rezoning from A agricultural and HP hillside protection to RA low density residential and HP hillside protection. Properties located at 6521 Takoi Quarry Road, parcel ID 79JA01803, Commission District 6.
How am I going to turn this thing off?
You will hit the red leave button on the bottom right corner.
Okay.
We will say
Merry Christmas, John.
Adios. All right. Thank you, Madam Clerk. I see the applicant Bill Johnson is here. And I also see, is there anyone else here speaking to this matter in opposition or in favor? I don't see anyone on my list, but I thought I'd make sure. All right, if you would, as the applicant, please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, it's Bill Johnson. The address is 6609 Tecoy Lane, Knoxville, Tennessee 37921.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Ms. Brooke, I did not see anyone in opposition, but speak now if you are. Ms. Brooks, would you please tell us the recommendation?
Planning Commission recommends that County Commission approve RA low density residential and HP hillside protection zoning because it is consistent with the surrounding development by a vote of 15-0.
Thank you very much. Mr. Johnson, is there anything you want to say about your project?
No, I'm just that I bought this property. It's 1.3 acres which has 3 homes on it now, a double wide trailer, a single wide trailer, and a single bedroom stick built home. And I'm going to remove all those and put 2 houses on there for 2 of my daughters and their husbands. And that's what I'm after to get this rezoned.
Well, then this might be a nice Christmas present. So.
Fabulous.
Commissioner Hill, I don't see any hands up and any discussion right now, so I turn it over to you.
Mr. Johnson, if they could all be so easy. Appreciate you. I'll make a motion that it's approved as recommended.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Smith, first by Commissioner Hill to approve. Is there any further discussion? Seeing no, Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Commissioner Biggs.
Aye.
Commissioner Biggs votes aye. Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy votes aye. Commissioner Darrett.
Aye.
Commissioner Darrett votes aye. Commissioner Smith.
Aye.
Commissioner Smith votes aye. Commissioner Ward.
Aye.
Commissioner Ward votes aye. Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Aye.
Commissioner Schoonmaker votes aye. Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill votes aye. Commissioner Bustler.
Aye.
Commissioner Bustler votes aye. Commissioner Beegler.
Aye.
Commissioner Beegler votes aye. Commissioner Daly.
Aye.
Commissioner Daly votes aye. And Commissioner J.
Aye.
Commissioner J votes aye. And all members present voting aye.
Thank you very much. Good luck with your project and your daughters. So,
Thank you guys very much. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. There is nothing else on our zoning agenda, so I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. And can I, one second, can I get a clarification from the law department? Do I need to do a roll call vote on the adjournment or just a motion and a second? I've heard it both ways and I want to be clear.
No, you don't need to call a all again. You actually just recessed.
Wait, no. I want adjourning a meeting. I want to be really clear because there was a lot of issue with this a couple months ago.
If you want to adjourn the meeting and re-adjourn, if you re-adjourn, then you got to call the roll.
No. I'm asking to adjourn this. Mr. Smith, maybe you could chime in.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's my understanding of Robert's rules that if you get to the end of the agenda, that you can adjourn. The chair itself can adjourn, but you have to get to the end of the agenda, which is where I think we're at now.
Okay.
Well, you're at the end of the zoning session.
Correct. We're gonna end the zoning meeting and we're gonna go back to the other one. But while we're here, I just thought I'd get clarification for at the end of any meeting. Do I need a full roll call vote or can I just get a motion in a second and adjourn it?
If you're going to do an adjournment by way of a motion and a second, then you need to have a roll call vote.
Okay. So then I will ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting in a second.
So moved.
That was, second by Durrett, first by Beeler. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then I will ask for a roll call vote to adjourn the zoning meeting. Thank you.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy votes aye. Commissioner Darrett,
Aye.
Commissioner Darrett votes aye. Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Smith votes aye. Commissioner Ward,
Aye.
Commissioner Ward votes aye. Commissioner Schoonmaker,
Aye.
Commissioner Schoonmaker votes aye. Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill votes aye. Commissioner Bustler,
Aye.
Commissioner Bustler votes aye. Commissioner Beeler,
Aye.
Commissioner Beeler votes aye. Commissioner Daly,
Aye.
Commissioner Daly votes aye. Commissioner J,
Aye.
Commissioner J votes aye, and Commissioner Biggs.
Aye.
Commissioner Biggs votes aye. All members present voting aye.
Okay, before you leave, we will call this meeting adjourned and we will start back on our, come back and reconvene our commission meeting at 9:15. Rob and the IT department, if you will tell everybody that's waiting over there, we will all see you at 9:15. That's 13 minutes from now. Thank you very much.
Larson. Randy.
Yes.